man, you in the mix. Sports mix. Yeah, you in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny. News and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Plus, he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus, you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
What up? Mr. Sports Mix. Mr. Kenny in the building.
Right.
Dino. What's up, brother?
Sir. Yes, sir. Up in here.
Well, we're going to be having Facebook issues once again.
Oh, man.
Once again. I don't know what's going on.
Sabotage, man.
Yeah.
Sabotage. That's probably the motherfucking Stephen A. or some Jason Whitlock. Sabotaging, worried about the competition.
It's all good. We're still gonna roll with the YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah,
we're gonna roll with that. But what's up, everybody? You know, Super Bowl week. The Ravens not in the Super Bowl this year, in case y'all didn't know. I think it's the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping for a tie. You know, triple overtime, tie game. You know, something ugly, man. All safeties.
Right.
You know, all safeties.
Ball game or something.
Yeah, it's an ugly game, you know.
Yeah.
It's out there in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for those who are making their way out. San Francisco kind of get they don't get like they get mild weather.
Yeah.
They get a little chilly out there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it ain't like they ain't gonna be in the sunny California, you know, Southern California, excuse me. You know, so I know they get a little weather out there. But Seahawks and the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. If for those that cares, I know we had some Seahawks fans tuning in last couple of weeks. I don't think as many Patriots fans left after Brady and Belichick left.
Right.
At least not the fair weather ones.
Yeah, exactly.
The ladies that thought Brady was cute, and the old school Belichick, they think he's a dictator. They like that old school coaching, you know what I mean? Belichick down there in North Carolina getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah. I mean, I figure he would have some difficulty making that transition, from the NFL to college, especially with all that NIL madness going on, transfer portals and all that kind of stuff, man. I'm sure that's a hell of a adjustment to make when you at his age and as accomplished as he is. That's a difficult task.
Yeah, and I just see him as an NFL guy, and then I think the move to Carolina was that he just a guy that just wanted to coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't getting the opportunities in the NFL, so he just took the first thing smoking. It's North Carolina. They kind of got a name, even though it's not in football. Carolina is big university, nationally known.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he figured he can go there and, make something happen or whatever. And just don't look like it's happening for him, And that college, and we was talking about it before we got on here, man. College, the landscape in college athletics is way different now. You just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You got that NIL stuff, and these dudes is coming in with agents right out of high school. They got agents and they making demands. For me to even step foot on the campus, I need this, and that's just for a visit. That's not even for a guarantee that I'm gonna come there. So, more power to those that got to deal with that stuff, man. I'm just we just an old school guy. I just see stuff the way that it was. I like that when guys was getting money under the table. You know what I'm saying? Their demands wasn't as high. Some of them, I'm sure some of them went and made some demands, but
yeah,
they came in there and was taking what was given to them.
Yeah, this NIL ain't really, it ain't nothing new.
No,
like I say, it was up under the table.
yeah, like giving money out in college athletics
ain't nothing new.
College athletics is not a new thing, and for those that think it is, I got some desert land that I want to sell you in West Baltimore. Agent Lair, what's up? Yo, he said yo.
Yeah, okay.
We gotta be careful with these.
And for real, man. Like we were talking about this NIL and saying, that it's been here, it's been under the table for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Kids been getting paid. I would not be surprised, even though they still make the NIL a legal thing to be able to pay. I bet there's still some under the table money being transferred to kids.
Oh, for sure.
I would think that that's still going on. It's like, they make weed legal, but they still out there. They still out there selling.
Yeah.
So I think it's still some stuff going on with the whole thing, and but plus they I just looked it up. They talking about Super Bowl Sunday. They calling for a high of 67 degrees with temperatures potentially dipping into the high 40s by the end of the night. A small chance of precipitation remains.
Yeah, I remember. I think when the Dolphins played the 49ers, this is back in the 80s. And that Super Bowl was played in Stanford. And that's up there like Northern California too.
Yeah.
And I remember like it wasn't like I think it might have rained or like been a misty day. It wasn't great weather. And it wasn't like, 80 degrees and sunny. You know what I mean? Like you said, probably a little overcast that day. And I just remember it just not being great weather.
And for real, man, I'm not really mad at the weather being a little adverse in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is football.
Yeah.
You have to adjust to the conditions, but I think for the fans' sake and for the whole event, where you got a large audience there, they're paying top dollar for seats. So I think it is a great idea to have a good venue, man.
Yeah.
Sitting up in Foxborough watching the game, that ain't gonna work.
Because remember, a couple years ago they had the Super Bowl in New York.
Yeah.
And that yeah. So you gotta you want your premier event to be somewhere enjoyable for everybody.
Exactly.
A nice warm weather city that's kind of active, got some things happening. or if it's not in a warm weather city, somewhere with a dome stadium
A dome.
that's got an active lifestyle, outside is popping. Dallas,
Yeah.
Vegas, they got dome. They got active nightlife in those cities.
Has it been in Vegas yet?
I know it's coming.
It's got to be. It's
I
got to
know it's
come.
coming. I just saw it. I don't know if it's next year or the following year, but I know it's going to Vegas soon.
Yeah.
And New Orleans has had it quite a few times. New Orleans is a city that doesn't get cold like we experience.
And
in
it's
the
lively
wintertime.
down there. It's got a lot of life.
Yeah, it definitely got a lot of life around down in NO. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Here on the East Coast, we've been dealing with some weather. Had a little snowstorm come through, and biggest one we've had here in a long time. And
Right.
Not only the snow, but then you're dealing with the temperatures.
Right.
So everything freezes up, and the snow been around for about a week.
Ain't no melting.
Now you got sheets of ice, everywhere.
Ice on top of the snow.
Yeah. So, and you had to know eventually we was gonna get something.
Yeah, it had to happen.
We've been skating away. We've been getting away with these mild winters, and you get a little dusting here and there. They call that a snow. They closing schools and snow around about 12 o'clock.
I just think that the state, based on how docile the snow weather has been for us over the last 10 years or so, or however long it's been, it left us pretty much ill prepared for what was happening. And a lot of talk about global warming and all of that. And in our history, we know blizzards.
Yeah,
we know about that. We didn't experience that, but a 10-year-old may not know too much about snow in this area.
Right.
But yeah, it was a blast to the past. But the thing about this snow was just the difficulty in removing it with the ice on top of the snow, and then the cold temperatures, like you mentioned, not getting any help from the weather and any kind of melting, scenario. So
yeah, I don't know, man. Then what did he say? What's his name? The groundhog.
Yeah.
Say we got 6 more weeks of winter for whatever that matters.
Right. We'll mention that.
Yeah.
Right. The groundhog, right?
Yeah, groundhog. Groundhog Day was yesterday, and
okay.
They had what's his name, Puxatawny Phil or whoever.
Yeah.
The rodent.
Mm.
And he saw a shadow. So if he see a shadow, that means I don't even know which is which.
Look, man, I ain't never paid that no attention for years. I can't even tell you something about looking at the shadow. If you see it, 6 weeks. If you don't see it, it's something else.
Right.
But whatever, it's just all a bunch of BS.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they take it pretty serious. They get dressed up and put the big hats on and
all of that.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Something to get the natives all riled up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if they want to give us a day off at work, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. I'll take that with pay, of course.
With pay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But other than that,
hey, shout outs to days off with pay.
Right.
We take those.
But send the kids to school.
Send them to school. Goddamn right. Send them to school.
That's a holiday.
Yeah. You're right. And usually one don't happen without the other.
Right.
If they gonna send them to school, we damn sure going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's Super Bowl week in America. You know, the NFL season is coming to a close.
Yeah.
I mean, no other sport generates the excitement in America anyway that the NFL does on a week-to-week basis. And I'm talking about 365, 52 weeks a year basis. There's not a lot of off time for the NFL, man. And I've talked about this before, man. They have figured out marketing to the 20th power. I mean, they market the NFL in a way, man. And it just keep fan interest alive all year round. Improve daily. What up? What up? What's going on? Make sure y'all subscribing over there on YouTube too. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Yeah, but the NFL, man, has figured out marketing in a way, man. If I could come up with something and market to the success level that they do, just even a tenth of what they do. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that has figured out how to sell what's it called? The combine. They are selling the combine. I mean, they have got people
big time.
People when I said the house with their own, they got their stopwatches. They're in the living room. And they got charts. They writing times down, man. They tell them how many times do you bench 225, what he did in the shuttle run.
Right.
I mean, these are fans. I ain't even talking about the
oh yeah.
You know, I'm talking about the fans, man.
They into it.
The NFL they have figured this thing out. Maybe I need to go do an internship up there just to see what's going on, man. Like what's really going on up here?
The draft.
The draft is so, and you got people actually planning trips to go to the draft. They move the draft around every year to a different city for that purpose because they know, well, we can have it here this year, and we, you know, and it's 3 days. With the draft, like 3 days.
Oh yeah, it's a party, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
The schedule release.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yep.
You know, the league calendar year. Everybody talking about the league calendar. The year starts in the NFL on March 1st or whatever. Man, people be into this stuff.
You know they're gonna be running down the free agents and you know the cap space. Right. You know, I mean, all year. All year.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'm amazed, man, at the length that people go to. And I'm a sports fan, but some of that stuff is just way a little too much for me. You know, these are not the sports we grew up on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, think about it. We talking about the 70s, 80s. Yeah, we wanted a little more information, but this is a little too much.
Yeah.
This is a bit too much.
Yeah.
Even I think about baseball, right? We grew up, we both Orioles fans. We grew up in the summertime. You might have seen it was 162 games a year. You might have saw 60 games on TV. Maybe 60.
Yeah.
And most of them was on the road.
Right.
They rarely broadcast the home.
They didn't show the home game.
Home game. And then they got the network, what was it, Home Team Sports. And I think they showed all of the games.
Yeah.
You know. They showed all the games. Hey there, my friend. Ivory kisses. Thanks for watching. Long time no see or hear. Yeah, but you know, it just you know, you didn't get the games like that,
right?
So we watched on the radio. I mean, we watched on the radio. Excuse me. We listened on the radio. Radio was big.
It was big.
I still listen to games on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in the car. Beanie, Robert Armin checking in. What's up, Beanie?
Okay, what's up? What's up?
Oh, good, brother.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Yeah, man. So you get the TV coverage. Like now, you can get every Oriole game on TV. Every home game, every game, 162 is on TV somewhere, right? The to me, the in-person experience is different now because I sit home and watch the game. Like, you know what I mean? People just take that approach.
Yeah.
So the people that's going to the games are more novice fans. They kind of just something to do. They down there to eat the food and see what the vendors got, get some barbecue from Boog Powell, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we was content, man, just to get a hot dog.
Right.
And a Coke. If you got that.
Right. and them prices today will keep people away. The prices are keeping a lot of people away.
Yeah, I bought a souvenir cup. I went to a game this summer, Orioles game. I bought a souvenir. I still got it. Souvenir cup. So now I don't know when the last time you've been down there. So like you buy a soda, you buy the cup, and they got fountain soda machines around the stadium. So as long as you got that cup, you can just go refill it as many times as you want. So I bought that, and the cup probably cost me about $15, $20. I don't even know what I paid for the cup.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. It's everything is just so expensive now. Then the experience is different. Like I was at the Maryland game the other day, and I was talking to a brother there, and we both was like, man, I'd rather watch on TV. And I said the only reason I came was because the tickets were gifted.
Yeah.
The tickets was gifted to me, so I said, hey, I wasn't gonna turn down the gift. I'm gonna come and take advantage of that and watch this game. But the NFL of all sports does the best job. With fan engagement throughout the year. NBA has basketball fans, and the better teams or the bigger name players can draw in some casual fans. But for the most part, basketball fans are basketball fans. You know what I'm saying? Baseball fans are pretty much the same. Even baseball used to be the America's pastime, and it's just not the same. It's just not the same. The NFL is the sport right now that draws up the most interest throughout the year. People talking football all year. You see people with the gear on all year. You know who's a fan of what. You ride through certain neighborhoods, they flying their flags up. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan or I'm a Pittsburgh fan or whatever, But the NFL has figured it out. And I need to learn this the market. If I can get like a percentage of what they do marketing wise, could set me up for a lifetime.
Yeah, it's outstanding what they're doing for real. No question about that. And I think that that the NFL has an advantage. That advantage is the product. I mean, there's nothing that can match a football game. You know, it's only 17 of them during the year. So every game means so much versus 162 in baseball versus, I don't know what it is in basketball, 81 or something. I don't know. How many basketball games is it?
82.
82. Yeah. And so, you know, when you have the frequency of games like baseball and basketball has, and you only have 17 in football, I mean, those games, they mean so much. The football game itself is extremely exciting. The physicality of it, you know, the violence. America loves violence. You know, America was built on violence. So the violence of the football game is something that you know the country loves. So the product to me is boss when it comes to fan favorites, and but that marketing, man, is tremendous, man. It is tremendous, and people are glued all year long.
Yeah. Yep. And it's all coming to an end. This is the crescendo. Is that what they call it?
That's what they call it. That's right. That's right.
Look at me. I'm digging into my vocabulary.
Yeah, he gone to the thesaurus on y'all.
The season is coming to an end, peoples.
Yep.
And I mean, so, you know, Sundays are not the same after the football season's over with, man. You know, Sundays, even when they got basketball games on Sunday, it is not the same. It is not the same, man. It's almost like, hey, what am I going to do?
Exactly.
What am I going to do today?
And you know, and that's how you know how strong football is, because we seriously go through withdrawal.
Yes.
It's a withdrawal impact on us as if we was addicted to some narcotic. And it's the same with the NFL. I don't go through withdrawal when the baseball season ends.
No.
I mean, you know, basketball season's over. I love it. I love the playoffs in basketball and the championship, but that withdrawal thing, man. You know, when them Ravens got booted out, didn't make it to the playoffs, man, I was hurting. But at least we still had some playoff games to watch. But when football is over, man, that is a serious withdrawal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, right from the end of the game, Sunday, right from the end of the Super Bowl game, you already know. Now what?
Yep.
Now what? Like, yeah, it's Sundays are going to be tough. Sunday's going to be tough, you know. But you know, we go through this every year. We kind of know it's coming. You look forward to August. You know, people are watching. When the preseason games start, people are amped up to watch a preseason game with players that you know not even gonna make the team. It's just football.
Yeah.
You know, and for it to come, it's over. I mean, it's a 6-7 month grind. You know, and it seemed like, you know, it's a long season. When you talk about opening day, opening weekend, oh man, this is a long season, man. We got a long way to go. And man, and it's over. It is over. This is it. Killer Rob says a modern day narcotic.
Yeah.
Feeding us through, yes, sir. They've been feeding it to us through the TV.
Yeah.
And it's 24/7 coverage of it. They got a whole network dedicated to it. You know, a whole network dedicated to, and then they got shows. I mean, you can get your football fix pretty much any day of the week during the off season.
It ain't the real high.
No.
But it's something to hold you over.
Now, have you say during the spring and summer months, right? Have you ever fell up into a restaurant that had an old football game on?
They'll do that. They'll do that.
And I will sit and watch. And sometimes it's a game I've already seen before.
Yeah.
And I will sit and watch that thing like it's happening live.
And that ain't a bad strategy, you know, to go sit up in a nice Baltimore restaurant and look at the 2012 Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
or the 2000 Super Bowl or
Yeah.
the Miracle game in Denver.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yep. It is
It'll make them chicken wings taste better than that steak. You play that. It's a strategic move.
Speaking of chicken wings, you know. So you do a spread for the Super Bowl, or you get into it like that, or you just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of all depends. I mean, the last couple of years, I don't went to a Super Bowl party.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of years, for me personally, to me, being at home watching it is, I don't know, it's almost even as far as going to a Super Bowl party. As a matter of fact, probably me being home is probably the best way I like to look at it.
Yeah, me too.
But going out is fine too, and so we'll see. I'm flexible, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been out to watch the Super Bowl in years. I haven't been out to watch it, but I used to do like food at the crib. I make my own wings and little cold cut sandwich, the big long, not quite a 6 footer, maybe.
Yeah.
For me and my kids, have some grub in here for us, sliders.
Yeah.
Just and have our own little situation.
Yeah.
And I used to do that. But my kids growing up now, they don't, they ain't around here watching. If they wasn't watching the game then, they were just tearing up the food.
Yeah.
By the time the national anthem was over, they was gone.
Right.
But I don't even do it no more. I think last year I made some dip, and that was it. I think I bought some little food, ate that, just enough for myself.
And a lot of people, man, they don't. You bringing up the idea, how well the NFL is doing their advertising of the sport and promotions and all that kind of stuff. Some people don't know the NFL when it wasn't a halftime show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl at one point didn't have halftime shows, and now that's a big thing. Now they got, I guess, pregame shows and all of that, so true football lovers again. And I think when it comes to the NFL, we talked about it a little bit last week, and I just remember how the woman spectator just wasn't really that strong for the NFL back in the day, and that part of it has really, really grown. And for real, man, when it comes to life in general, we know that without the female, man, the life is going to lose some of its spice and zestiness. Anytime you incorporate the female into the mix, they're gonna bring it.
Yeah,
they're gonna bring it. So, so it's a huge plus that the women are really involved into the sport right now, and that's another thing that takes football over the top. Because I think that, and even, the basketball fans, women basketball and baseball and things like that, but these women are some rabid fans, man, when it comes to football.
Yeah. And if y'all watching, ladies, chime in. Just trying to give us your, what is it about the sport that drew you in? Because again, once upon a time, it was not like that.
It was not.
It wasn't like that. And so, for sure in the last 25 to 30 years, you see the uptick in women not only watching the game, but they heavily involved buying merchandise, buying season tickets, traveling to games. It's like the event. It's like a big event now. And I definitely would like to get that female perspective.
Right.
To see exactly, what it is that's got them locked in to the NFL like that, man. and it seems like it's only the NFL, that they have the casual female fan kind of locked in like that.
Yeah.
You have some ladies that are basketball fans that will watch the NBA, but not to the level that they do the NFL. And I think too, man, the NFL, because it's a once a week thing, it's one game a week for if you got a specific team, you got one game a week. You have little parties at the crib. I know families that have they watch the game together every week, at somebody's house. Food, family, and fellowship. Football, food. Wait, let me do it. Football, family, food, and fellowship.
There you go.
In that order.
There you go.
In that order.
Yeah, and fried chicken. Fried wings.
Yes, sir. Now, we growing a lot of chicken in the world. The way we consuming chicken, I visited a farm about a little less than a year ago, and a different experience for me. I'm a city guy. You know what I'm saying? I haven't spent much time on a farm at all. So I go there and I see the chicken coop, and there's a whole bunch of chickens running around and they laying eggs everywhere, and I left with 2 dozen eggs that day. Hey, we got plenty of eggs. They gave me 2 dozen for my consumption, and but the seed they just lay eggs randomly, just boom, 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 and then they had a I don't know what you call it. It wasn't a coop, but like inside the barn where they kept the chicks, the ones that they hatched. And you talking about, man, there might have been 300 to 400 of them in that little area, with the light on them to keep them warm and stuff. And those are the ones that end up on our table.
Yeah.
I
mean, man, it's an amazing thing when you think about the world, and I mean, if you just think about Baltimore,
mm-hmm.
I mean, these B-more folks are throwing down on some chicken.
Yes.
We know that. I mean,
yes.
You got hip hop chicken, you got what is it, wings and things, and all these little joints coming up, these chicken spots. And I just pull, and I'm sitting here. I used to wonder, man, how many chickens they kill in a year? They saying globally, over 200 million chickens are slaughtered for meat every day.
Every day?
Every day.
How many now?
They say over 200 million chickens are slaughtered for meat every day. In the United States, 24 to 26 million are killed daily.
What?
In the United States, there's 9 billion chickens being killed annually.
Wow.
I mean, that's something, man. That's something. And it all depends who you're listening to. This is saying that 150 million chickens were slaughtered. This is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
12 billion chickens are alive at the moment.
Damn.
I mean, this is some serious stuff here. This is some serious stuff.
Now, because you got that other segment of people talking about the chemically enhanced chickens and
right,
the computer generated or
Right.
what they call them, they you know, steroid chicken and
Oh yeah, they all pumped up.
all pumped up, and then some of them been cloned and
Yeah, all of that.
all that stuff,
All
man.
of that.
And truthfully, if you're not raising your own food, we really don't know what we eat. You know,
And it,
it's just to that point now. We really don't know what we eat no more. You know, you're
man,
not growing your own stuff.
it's amazing, man. They do have a. I mean, if you ever want to know what's being killed, there's a website. It's called Animal Clock, and it will let you know right to the number right now, and they give you the stats and they break it down. You know, the chickens, the turkeys, the cattle, the pigs, ducks, sheep, fish, shellfish. They break it down to how many are being killed, and then they give you a total about. And I'm this is some crazy stuff. This is a big number. This must be right now the 2026 U.S. animal kill clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moving. The clock is adding up as I'm looking at it. And right now, I mean, we're in January.
Yeah.
This is the 2026 U.S. animal kill, and it's 5,151,205,458,
Wow.
and which has been killed for food this year in the U.S. And they talking chickens and turkey. They got 8 billion chickens already, 214 million turkeys.
Wow.
This is some crazy. 36 million cattle, 124 million pigs. They got it broken down. So this thing, man, of killing animals, man, how can that be sustained?
Right.
I mean, the cloning that you mentioned has to be in play.
Yeah.
And I mean, they juicing up these animals with steroids and all kinds of chemicals to fatten them up so that they can go to the slaughter quick. So you have really baby cattle, baby pigs, baby chickens that they fat like grown-up chickens,
Mm-hmm.
so they can slaughter them and they send them out there for us to eat. And then, of course, we're eating this, and then we wonder why, our children, our little girls are having their menses when they're 9 years old.
Yeah.
So the impact is there, and it is impacting us, and just the healthiness, man, and stuff it's taking its toll on us. But again, we promote illness, man. Pharmaceuticals. We want pills, and they want to give us pills and all that kind of crap. So it's a crazy, maddening industry, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And even if you want to go vegetarian, I mean, they got the soil jacked up, and they pumping that stuff up. You got fake, what they call the vegetables, genetic engineering. What they call it?
Yeah. Genetically engineered
vegetables and all that kind of crap. And you can't win.
No, you can't. You can't, man. It's unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And nobody cook no more. Nobody cook no more. I mean,
Right.
not to the levels that we once knew. Everybody's so busy now.
Right.
Nobody have Sunday dinner.
Right.
At Big Mama's house.
Yeah.
It ain't even no more Big Mamas.
No, they out. They gone, man.
Wait a minute.
Rare.
Wait a minute.
Rare.
Wait a minute. Somebody, my friend says she cooks.
That's up. That's what's up.
Well, what you cooking on Sundays?
Right.
Matter of fact, what did you cook this past Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
And why wasn't I offered a plate? I'll just put you on the spot.
And and then, even cooking, we have to do our due diligence in trying to select the best product to cook.
Killer said take a week from the time that chicken is born until it go on your table.
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's
That's tough.
amazing.
You talking about we can hatch an egg today, and next Tuesday, that thing is in the grease.
Right. And we don't think twice about it.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't think twice
You're right.
about it. But when you start looking at these numbers, that makes you say, damn.
Yeah, we definitely ain't thinking twice.
Nah, man. We ain't
Some
thinking
hot
twice.
sauce.
Only thing we think about not biting our damn fingers off while we eating them wings, man. You know.
Wait a minute. And she threw down. She had some salmon and mashed potatoes, northern beans, and broccoli. Man, what you having this Sunday? You having a Super Bowl meal? I'll do a drive-by.
Wow.
You know, I bring my own Tupperware.
You know? Yeah, I bring my fork.
Yeah.
And my appetite.
So, well, I know you're not a sports fan, Miss Ivory Kiss. I know you're not a sports fan, but I appreciate you watching. But are you gonna watch the Super Bowl Sunday? Are you gonna do that? And if so, what is on the menu? Are you having chicken wings?
Right.
You know, and then a multitude of flavors. You know, buffalo and lemon pepper and habanero, all kind of flavors. No, sir. I mean, I know you're not a sports fan. I figured that.
Damn.
But I appreciate you watching the Sports Mix. I do.
Wow.
And maybe we hold your interest because we talking about food. We ain't talking about sports. Yeah, see.
Wow.
So you into the research now. I see you over there.
And man, it's mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling. I'm gonna have to shut this page down, boy. They talking about since I visited this page. And you know, I just visited it.
Yeah.
What, 5-7 minutes ago, whatever it was. 800,000 animals been killed for food in the U.S.
Wow.
Since I just visited the page.
That's tough.
1,800 gallons of water is used to produce 1 pound of beef. That's the equivalent of 7 years of drinking water for the average person.
That's tough.
Wow.
That's tough right there.
Wow. Yeah, this is life-changing looking at this thing. Good gosh.
Yeah, that's tough. But hey.
But I have to admit, it's not gonna stop me. Ain't gonna stop me Sunday.
Nah, and it shouldn't.
Yeah,
it shouldn't.
Down. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Hey man, you were born and raised a certain way. You know, chicken is I probably could eat chicken every day if I had to.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to, I could eat chicken every single day. Fried, baked, grilled, rotisserie, broiled, boiled.
Right.
You know, steam it.
Yeah.
You find a way.
Yeah.
You get that, as long as you get the pink out.
Yep.
It's edible. We can make it happen.
Yeah, chicken is super popular, man.
Yeah. So you know, and we got on the food subject.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Super Bowl Sunday upcoming.
Super Bowl took us there.
And Super Bowl generates a lot of excitement with these spreads that people have these parties and get-togethers, and you know, there's a lot of food and a lot of fellowshipping, and food is the star. You know, who brought this and who brought that, right. Who made that, and where'd you get this from?
Right,
you know, Hip Hop Chicken and America's Best Wings and Royal Farms and all these places are gonna be packed Sunday. with people buying 100 pieces, 50 pieces. You know, Redner's out there. They got some pretty good chicken. They're gonna be packed. You know, so it's they're gonna sell a lot of chicken this weekend.
Right.
I'm not buying none. I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a stand. It's too many chickens being slaughtered every week.
Yeah, something to think about, though. I can tell you that. Something to think about.
I ain't know they doing the chickens like that. But you know, when you see these chicken places popping up like you do, you know, if you think the way I think, and I tend to think a little outside the box, I think about stuff like that. Man, it's a lot of chicken. And you talk about sometimes within a 2-3 block radius, man, you might got 4 or 5 chicken spots.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And all of them be packed.
And all of them surviving. And I mean, you know, just food places in general, man. It's like so many food places, man. It's like, wow.
Yeah. So, you know, when y'all watch this podcast, right? We call it the Sports Mix. And we definitely be mixing it up. You know, I don't know what's going on with my Facebook feed. I've been trying to troubleshoot it while we're online here, and I don't seem to have the answers. So I'm gonna try to have it worked out between now and the next time we come on. You know, because I miss my Facebook people.
Yeah.
As well. You know, shout out to everybody on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody over there on IG checking me out. I see my niece checking in down in Atlanta. What's going on? So, you know, so I say, you know, we're trying to get everything straight with this feed, but the show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
The show must go on. So let's talk about this game upcoming. Football season again coming to a close this Sunday. Patriots, Seahawks for the World Championship. You know, the Lombardi Trophy, if you will. What's your thoughts? Just on the two teams before we get into, you know, predictions and all that. Just what's your thoughts on the two teams?
I mean, what I see is that, you know, when you look at Seattle, first thing come to mind is defense.
Mm-hmm.
That real potent defense. Those guys are super active. You know, great tackling team, very physical. Of course, they got former Ravens defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald at the helm over there. He's done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Here he is, I think, his second year, and he has pushed that team to the Super Bowl.
How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, and congrats to him. You know, Baltimore definitely loved Mike Macdonald. So, but I think the big thing that is kind of surprising for them is, you know, the quarterback position with Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Darnold was looked at as an underachiever. And, you know, the patience that they once had with quarterbacks is kind of no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, you could come in as a quarterback and they could groom you for a few years. I mean, what's the old guy that played for Pittsburgh this past year? Aaron Rodgers. He sat for some years up under Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
The kid that plays up there in Green Bay right now, he sat some years up under the old guy, Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, so the patience to develop quarterbacks is not there. We are a society that is impatient, and they were impatient with Sam Darnold. And what has happened, he won 14 games up in Minnesota last year as the quarterback. And so Seattle jumped on him. Minnesota didn't think that they could win with the Super Bowl with this guy. So they wound up letting him go. Seattle jumped on him. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. And basically, because of that move, they fired the GM up there in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. So the impatience is there. So, but I like the fact that Sam Darnold is kind of playing his best football. He kind of reminds me of how Joe Flacco did with the Ravens back in 2012, where he didn't sign that contract and he bet on himself, and he didn't play well that year. But it clicked in right before the playoffs, and he carried us all the way through. So I kind of see Sam Darnold not. I mean, he ain't kicking it like Joe did. Joe did some crazy stuff. You know, he's up there with Montana and them guys as far as a playoff run goes. So I just like the way Sam Darnold has been playing, and then also when I look at the New England Patriots, the young guy, you know, keep hearing Baby Brady, you know, up there in Foxborough, and he's having an outstanding season as a young guy. But I think that their journey to the Super Bowl has been a little bit, I think it's been easier than Seattle's when you think about them playing Denver without their starting quarterback, and they're able to beat them and get there to the Super Bowl. So I think we're in for a good game. You know, the whole world is ready for it, and yeah. So I mean, I got my thoughts on who I think will win, and probably could even gather who I'm thinking going to win based on what I just said. Right.
Yeah. I think you know, with New England is a team preseason, nobody had them in this position. You know, they first year head coach. First year back in New England. This is not his first head coaching job, but Mike Vrabel, who we talked at length about last week, you know, he came in, you know, kind of came in and with no expectation, and they've been solid all season, you know. And I remember at some point early in the season, because they were on the Ravens schedule. And they were on the back half of the Ravens schedule. And I remember having conversations, people saying, well, the back half of the schedule ain't that bad.
Right.
You know, and New England was one of the teams people were talking about. And New England just stayed steady all season, you know, and they end up winning the division. You know, and that's a division with Buffalo in it. You know, who I think Buffalo is one of the division that the AFC East the last few years. You know, so Buffalo. You had Miami that was okay for a couple years. They fell off this year. But New England, man, just kind of was steady. And then you look up and it's week 10, 11, they got like 2-3 losses. And they're just playing good football. You know, Drake May, you know, is I'm not gonna call him you know, he's not the guy that's going to light the stat sheet up. You know, he's not a guy that's going to, you know, put those big gaudy quarterback numbers up. But he's solid. You know, he don't make a lot of mistakes. You know, he just kind of manages the game. You know, but he make plays when he has to. You know, and that's the key with a quarterback. That's really what you want from a quarterback. You know, you don't really need a quarterback to dominate the game. You know, we got Lamar Jackson here, and he's a different kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that can beat you with his legs. He can beat you throwing. You know, he's the kind of guy. He's a fantasy football dream. You know what I'm saying? He's the type of guy that could put up incredible fantasy numbers, but he's also the kind of guy that gonna sell tickets. And I don't think that Drake May is going to sell tickets the way that Lamar Jackson would sell tickets.
Or Sam Darnold.
Right. You know. So, but these guys, you know, again, you put them in a situation, like you say, Sam Darnold was with the Jets. Jets drafted him, you know, and it just wasn't working out. So they moved on from him. And he went to I think he was down there in Charlotte one year, wasn't he?
He went somewhere before he went to Minnesota.
The Cardinals, I mean, not the Cardinals, the Panthers. and then he went to Minnesota, and he got an opportunity up in Minnesota, and like you say, they 14-3, and then Minnesota decided, well, this is not the long-term option that we want. We're gonna move on from him, and he goes to Seattle, and now he's get ready to play for a Super Bowl. Is he the type of quarterback that long term, you're gonna expect him to lead a team? I think he's the type of quarterback that has to be on a team that's built a certain way. The run game is solid in Seattle. He has guys he can throw the ball to when he needs to make plays, but they play defense. You know what I'm saying? And they can play the field position game, because they trust the defense. And that's a thing that sometimes get overlooked, because we want to crown these guys the next coming, and we want to say what Lamar Jackson can't do, and what Josh Allen can't do. But you talking about two of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. They just haven't gotten it done yet, And it's a team game, unless you're talking about quarterbacks that's making a lot of money. Then it's all the blame goes to them. But they understand that comes with the job. But with respect to the Seahawks and the Patriots, Drake May is a young quarterback. What's this, like his second or third year?
I think it's his second
year in the league. Darnold is a veteran, so he's been in the league about 9 years.
Yeah, he came in with Lamar and them.
Yep. So he's been on a couple of teams, so he understands the league, and he understands that this is an opportunity for him to put himself in history at pretty much. He can rewrite his story here, and I mean, if you win a Super Bowl is forever. You are in history books forever if you win one. I mean, Trent Dilfer is forever in the history books of Super Bowl quarterback.
Oh, right.
So again, I think both teams play defense at a Seattle is a little higher level defense, I think, than New England, but they both play defense very well. So I don't expect a high scoring game, but from either side. I don't expect it to be like a barn burner that way, where they just running up and down and throwing all these passes. I don't see that. I think it's going to be a defensive game from both sides. I don't see it going. I don't see it. If I had to pick an over under, I'd probably say be under 45 points total. Probably 45 points total. I would say, and that might be being generous. That might be being generous. But so yeah, I'm looking for a good game defensively from both teams. Again, Sam Darnold can make a play when he has to, just like Drake May can make a play when he has to. And without a whole lot more to say on it, what is your prediction for the game?
Yeah, well, I am.
All right, let me do this first.
Okay.
Before you do that, because the Hall of Famer who wasn't able to join us tonight, Glennie Moore, one of our panel guys, he sent me his prediction.
Okay.
He sent me his prediction. So let me get Glennie his view. So Glennie Moore has New England 24, Seattle 14. He picked Drake May as his MVP, and he said Stephon Diggs will have a big game. So he's got New England 24, Seattle 14. Drake May is the MVP, and Stephon Diggs will have a big game.
Cardi B's baby daddy having a big game. Okay.
And And again, I said 45 points or less. His total is 38.
Yeah.
So so he's not expecting a big scoring game either.
Yeah.
So that's the Hall of Famer Glennie Moore. 24-14 New England is his pick for the Super Bowl. Sorry. So what you got, my brother?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at a 27-21 score.
Mm-hmm.
With Seattle winning. Never really gave a lot of thought to the MVP. Usually the quarterback is like the favorite to be an MVP winner. But I like Seattle. I like Seattle. And I think that defense today is not like defense that we know from historically the great Ravens defenses and things like that. So if you can hold a team basically around 20 points, that's a good defensive game today in the NFL. They wind up with 17 points or they score 20 points in a game. That's a good defensive game, and you expected your offense is expected to win that game if you hold a team to 20 points or below.
Yeah.
So so I'm just thinking that I 27-21. That's where I'm going. I'm going with Seattle. Obviously, Sam Darnold going to have a decent game. And again, these quarterbacks, I think you nailed it when you say these quarterbacks don't really have to have sensational games to win this. And so, I don't know. I'm just going to I'll go with the quarterback, Sam Darnold, as an MVP. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And I'm going Seattle as well. Just from the defensive standpoint. I just like the way they get after it, on the defensive side. So I'm gonna go Seattle, and I'm gonna go 24-16 as the score. 24-16, man. I mean, unless somebody just go off, or somebody on the defense has a big game with some picks and a pick six or something. Usually, it's gonna go to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looked like it's just always been recently. It's just been quarterbacks getting the MVPs.
Right.
So if I had to pick MVP, I probably would go Sam Darnold as well.
And I think that's a good thing, And I think when it comes to MVP, I think though that this is a good year for somebody other than the quarterback to win, based on who the quarterbacks are.
Yep.
Yeah, but and we have experienced in our Ravens history,
yes,
a non-quarterback MVP.
About that.
With number 52.
About that.
You just want to throw that out there. The legendary Ray Lewis was the Super Bowl MVP back in that 2000 year, where
pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh man, and the opposing team did not score on the Ravens defense.
No.
On that game, they did run a kickoff back and scored on our special teams, but they did not score on that Ravens defense. And I'm not sure if that's ever been done in Super Bowl history, where the defense did not give up any points.
No, that was it.
That was it.
I mean, the conspiracy theorists be out. I guess Paul Tagliabue was watching that game. Say, look, he called Art Modell. He called over to Art Modell's owners by say, look, I know the defense not gonna give up nothing. Can we miss a coverage on this kickoff, please?
Do something.
We can't leave here with them not scoring nothing. Because it just wouldn't be a good look for the NFL. And you had, what was it? What was like 3 touchdowns within 30 seconds or something crazy?
Man, I mean, it was something crazy and like that. And and our special teams were so disappointed to
Yeah,
give up that touchdown that
yeah,
because they wanted that shutout that our guy Jermaine Lewis came back on the ensuing kickoff and took it back.
yes, indeed.
So yeah,
Yes, indeed.
great game. And the thing with that Ravens team, they had, speaking of legendary, they had the legendary Jim Brown come in and give a pregame speech to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Brown is a Cleveland Brown, a great Hall of Famer from Cleveland who had connection with Art Modell. So Art Modell was able to bring in Jim Brown, who a lot of people still think is the greatest football player to ever step on the field.
Yeah.
And I heard Ray Lewis say that Jim Brown is the most dominant athlete to ever step on any field. That was from
tough.
Ray.
That's tough.
That's tough coming from somebody who is as accomplished as Ray Lewis is. So he gave him the pregame speech, and they went out there and totally dominated the New York Giants. I don't know if we'll ever see a defense like that again, because the rules have changed.
The rules changed.
They got so many things to protect quarterbacks and offensive players, and then America, and one of the reasons why I got my scores kind of up in the 20s is that America is addicted to scoring.
Yeah.
We want to score, so we don't. That's why World Cup football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people can't get with that. When the end of the game is 1-0 and a tie 2-2, a couple of goals in the game, and American, man, we want to score. So usually in any sport that we have, scoring is a priority over non-scoring. So offense is over defense. So offense always get the plus, the benefit, and all the rules that they come in with changes always benefit the offense, because again, America is addicted to scoring. We want to yell, we want to scream, we want points, we want goals, we want touchdowns, we want to see people dancing in the end zone, we want all of that. So I don't know if you'll ever see those kind of defenses again based on rules, and even in the NBA, and hand checking and all this kind of stuff, and the 3 points and the scores are way higher, and even baseball, when you rarely see those pitching duels. I mean, baseball 2-1 games were great games.
Yeah.
For the purists, and we love those games. We love them just as much. I mean, when they score a lot of runs, yeah, you celebrate, but a good baseball game is a good baseball game. So offense, man, is the priority right now, especially America.
Yeah, my gripe with that is like most of these sports are governed by people who haven't been competitive in anything. They just fans, and some of these rules they come up with, the extra inning rule in baseball where you put a runner on second base.
Yeah,
come on, man, that's not baseball, man.
Right, what is that, man?
That's not. I mean, a base hit and you score a run.
Right.
I mean, come on, man, that's not baseball. That's not baseball, man. But they that is actually the rule. You know what I'm saying? And the first time I saw it live, I was befuddled. I just could not believe what I was seeing. I'm like, yo, they actually gonna put a runner on second base to start the inning. Come on, man. We what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing here?
I think in college football, they give it to them on the 25 or something.
Yeah, like and come on, man. Come on, man. Play football. Kick the ball off.
Kick the ball off.
I mean, I like sudden death.
Yep. Yeah.
I like sudden death. I don't like the fact that you give everybody opportunity now.
That's what I grew up on, man. You flip the coin and
Yeah.
whoever win, they win.
Well, yeah, you get that ball first. If you score, you win.
Yeah.
Stop them. But man, they just got all these rules, man. And it's like you say, it's all about the scoring. We got to figure out a way to get more scoring. And, you look at the NBA, you can't, you can't hand check and, the hard fouls, and you can't really touch nobody no more.
Right.
And basketball is a contact sport.
Yep.
For those who have played the game. Basketball is contact, man. You bumping, you know what I'm saying? It get a little physical.
Mm-hmm.
And so man, people just don't get that idea, man. They just want to see, like you said, they just want to see scoring and get to the basket, shoot threes. That stuff is not entertaining to me.
It's lost. It's lost a lot of its entertainment value with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it definitely lost. And see, people want to point the finger because we always got to blame something or somebody.
Somebody.
So Steph Curry, because he's the greatest shooter that we've seen, it's his fault.
It's his fault.
Everybody jacking up threes now. And if he was jacking up threes and wasn't making them, I mean, that's one thing.
Right.
But this dude jacking up shots and making them. I mean, he's stepping 2-3 steps over half court and letting them go.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. I mean, the stuff that dude doing is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, he's so cool with it. I mean, man, you know what I mean, and you didn't hoop before, so you know what I'm saying, man. You imagine what you feel if you guarding him. Well, he on the opposite team. You ain't got to be guarding him. He just on the other team. He come across half court, take a 2 or 3 steps over half court. Shaka.
Yeah.
And he done turned around, went down court. The ball ain't went in the basket yet.
Right. And I mean, he does that consistently. Now, in the time when me and you grew up, he wouldn't be doing that. Somebody that got to him. Oh, that's what we doing? Right. Right. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, you just gonna turn around before the shot go and look at the bench.
We'll force him to go down in that hole where we got some people that can, serve his ass. You ain't getting this jump off, but you go down in that hole. Ben Wallace waiting for you.
Oh man. But he take a lot of the blame. I don't think he paid no mind.
No,
of course.
No.
But his name is thrown out there because he's the one that's taking these shots and making them.
Yeah.
And really, that whole Golden State squad back then, the Splash Brothers, and you had a couple of the other guys that wasn't as good as shooters as them, but they just thought they was, and just letting them go. But you're right. It's all about the entertainment value. It's all about scoring points. Who we just want to see people score. We want to see, football teams scoring 30 and 40 points. I mean, think about when the Ravens when Lamar was rolling like he was a couple years ago, and the Ravens was automatic 35. How many Jackson 5s has he had in his career?
Yeah, I don't know, but he didn't have a few.
You know what I mean?
Right, and then he probably had a few more after they booted Jermaine out. They got some Jackson 4s. You know what I mean? So Lamar been doing his thing.
Right.
He been doing his
thing.
You
He definitely doing his thing. Without doubt, he putting his numbers up.
Absolutely.
And yeah, man. I mean, it's just we just like remember baseball a couple years ago. Chicks loved the long ball. They're hitting all these home runs.
Yeah.
And it sold tickets, and they
Yeah,
had people going to the games and people was watching the games, man. It just what people wanted to see, you know. And that's another topic we're gonna have to touch.
sure.
You know, with the long ball and now, you know, Barry Bonds and them guys are not gonna be Hall of Famers, which is blasphemous within itself. You
Right.
know, if they don't make if they not Hall of Famers, then Major League Baseball should give the money back. All the billions they made in them years, they should get that money back.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, which we know they're not going to do that.
right. And I mean, the and you look at the sport like baseball, like you mentioned. I mean, they were really desperate, I think, for entertainment value, and they allowed the Mark McGuire's and the Sammy Sosa's and them guys to they knew that they were on that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
They knew that they were taking performance enhancement drugs, and they allowed it, to continue because there was a whole bunch of excitement, man, with Mark McGuire and breaking Roger Maris record and
yeah.
the battle back and forth between Sosa and McGuire and all of that kind of stuff, man. So they needed something, but it all came crumbling down. It came crumbling down. But again, you know, scoring, hitting home runs, and things like that is more exciting, and they think it's going to bring the fans into the stadium, and it's going to bring up the viewership, and all of that means money.
Yep, yep, and that's really the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Let's get this money.
Get this money, man. Get this money.
So, I so there was 10 NFL coaching jobs open this season, and I think the Raiders haven't officially named the coach yet. I think they looking at one of the assistants from the Seahawks as their guy. Um, 10 openings. No black coaches hired. I think they said there was a minority. I don't remember who that was. Maybe Shala. Is he considered a minority?
He's the guy with the Rams.
He was the Jets head coach a couple years ago, and then he went
Oh
back. He
yeah,
was
that guy.
defensive
Yeah,
coordinator
yeah.
for the
I don't know
49ers.
what his nationality is.
Yeah. So he got the Titans job.
Right.
So I don't know if it was him they were saying that there was the minority hire. And we did a show a couple years ago on the whole Rooney Rule. And I think most teams did the interviews. They interviewed their minority coaches or whatever. And there is some disappointment that no black coaches were hired this year. I'm a little bit indifferent on that because while I want to see black coaches get opportunities, I understand the climate we living in. I got a real good understanding of the climate and the world we live in. And there were a few GMs that got fired for whatever reason. And again, man, when you in sport and it's a big business, it's $1 billion industry, man. So these people hire and fire basically who they want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of these hires, a lot of the interviews are granted just to please the Rooney Rule, just to keep their names out the headlines. And a lot of times they probably know full well who they want to hire before they make a decision. They probably got a short list of people that they already kind of considering.
Yeah.
Beforehand. And so I don't get too bent out of shape with the whole Rooney Rule situation. Again, I understand why it's in place. I think it say more about the people that's hiring that they have to have a rule like that in place just to give somebody an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Uh, to prove yourself as a coach. It just so much have to go right. Always remember, I quote John Thompson a lot because I just had so much respect for Coach Thompson as a basketball coach, but I got to really know, not know him personally, but know a little bit more about him and his thought process and how intelligent he was. Listening to his radio show and how some of his takes on sports and some of the inside information that he would give with respect to how professional organizations are run and why he didn't leave Georgetown, to go to certain NBA teams. When he had opportunity to back when the Warriors were, pretty flying high in the 80s and early 90s, and he had some opportunities to go to the NBA. And I believe there was an opportunity with the Clippers, who had Elgin Baylor, who was a DC guy, was their general manager for a long time. And Elgin, is somebody Big John looked up to. He's a little older than Big John. And Big John always spoke very highly of him, Elgin Baylor. I believe they called him the Rabbit down there in DC.
Yeah.
But Elgin Baylor was trying to get Big John to come over there to the Clippers to take over. And I want to say this was in the late 80s, maybe like 80, 88, 89-ish, around that time. And so he talked about it on his radio show, and this is like in the 2000s when he was talking about it. But his thing was, I'm not going to take a job where I'm not in complete control of, because these jobs, they hire you to fire you. You know what I'm saying? Because you if you don't produce, if you're not winning, your job is on the line. And then you talking about the Clippers. This is an organization that's historically bad. You know what I'm saying? Historically bad, especially bad back then. You know what I mean? They were really bad back then. And so his thing was, man, listen, I'm not coming in there if I don't have complete control of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the personnel, he probably wanted to pick who sold the hot dogs.
Yeah.
In the arena. But I mean, I understood what he was saying. And he said that was the same reason he took the Georgetown job in 1972, was that you don't take a job like that, number one, if you don't have the support of the people above you. So you got to have, in college level, an athletic director and the president of the college who have your back 1,000%.
Yeah.
And everybody else will get on board. You know what I'm saying? But if you got those two people, you know what I'm saying, the people with the money, everybody else will get on board. But if you got the president and the athletic director and they believe in your vision and they willing to take a ride with you, you can survive.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes in the NFL or in professional sports, period. If you got the owner and the general manager or the president of the team, whatever they call them, and they believe in you and they're going to support your mission and they're going to get you the players that you want and understand the style that you coach, the way that you want the game to be played, and they get you the pieces you want, that's a workable situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you got a Jerry Jones, and I hate to keep beating up on Jerry Jones, but Jerry Jones is going to want some credit, when things going right. You know what I'm saying? And he want to be standing up there in the press conference, and he want to be poking his chest out, and that's just not a good recipe for winning. And we see what the Cowboys have done over the last 30 years, So with these head coaches jobs in the NFL, You know, you see black coaches get these jobs. Some of these jobs are like, this was the only place I was going to get an opportunity. So, you know, you go to a team like the Raiders who, you know, just can't get right, can't get out their own way. You know what I'm saying? And some of the draft picks they made over the years. And who else is historically bad in the NFL? Cleveland. I mean, the Cleveland Browns, man, they hired what's
Todd
his
Monken.
name? What's
Todd
his name? Bunkin.
Mm-hmm.
Whose radar was he on before that?
Nobody's.
I just make sure it just wasn't me.
He was on John Harbaugh's radar to come up there to New York as offensive coordinator.
Right. I didn't hear his name not once in any head coaching, not once. I didn't hear his name one time mentioned as a potential head coach in the NFL. At one point, I heard people say he was going back to college.
Right.
That was kind of the thing. He going back to college.
Right.
Once the season over, you know, he's gonna be gone. He going back to college. So I had no clue. You know, and the thing, I think Cleveland is the only team he interviewed for a head coach.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, somebody correct that. But I think Cleveland was the only team he interviewed for a head coaching position. And I saw something today. I don't know how true it is. That I think they got the number 2 pick in the draft. They're looking at a quarterback.
They're looking at picking a quarterback.
That's what I saw today.
I
don't know if that was like inside information or that was just a writer saying this is who they should take with the number 2 pick. Man,
that's crazy.
But again, it's just like, yo, you see stuff like this, and it's no wonder why a team like that is just historically bad.
That's crazy.
You know, it's no wonder why a team like that is just historically bad, because they just make these knee-jerk decisions, you know, and we talked about it here. You know, drafting a quarterback, especially a first or second round quarterback, somebody you expect to play. If you don't get that pick right, man, your organization is set back. It can set you back 5 to 7 years easy. You know, and we witnessed that. We witnessed that with the Kyle Bowler pick. You know, and again, not that we're gonna beat up on Kyle Bowler. The facts are the facts. You know what I'm saying? That young guy came here as a first round draft pick. You know, they basically will put the ball in his hands right away. And he was bad from the beginning. Awful, even.
Right.
From the beginning. And they tried, man. I mean, the media, the local media tried to rehabilitate his image, talk about how hard he was working and the kid is getting better and, you know, he's doing this and he's doing that and you just wait till the season starts and I mean, he's out there at the facility all season and all these things, man. They just kept trying to tell us that you know, it was going to get better. It was going, and for 3 or 4 years we heard that. You know, for 3 or 4 years we heard that, man. And then you look up and they brought in old ass Steve McNair, you know, who had 1 year left in him.
Yeah.
He had 1 year left in him, and maybe not even a full year, because I think he was done by the end of the season.
He was like 13-3 or something that year.
Yeah, 13-3. They was the number 1 seed.
Right.
Or number 2 seed.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning them came in here.
Right.
You remember that day?
I know. It was summertime.
Old mild ass day and shit.
Yeah.
Summer, you know, January. Felt like it was summertime out there.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. And if I ain't mistaken, it was all field goals.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah,
all field goals. I don't think Peyton Manning scored. I don't think he threw a touchdown. I think they kicked all field goals.
Yeah, I think they had 15 points or something like that, and it was all field goals. They didn't score on our defense.
Nope.
But the offense couldn't produce. And I think, you know, and by the time the end of the season came, man, I don't think McNair couldn't get the ball 45 yards in the air, man.
No,
I mean, he was struggling.
no, man. He
But-
and in the next season, preseason, it was even worse than that.
Yeah, got worse than that. He was definitely done. And again, you know, the quarterback is the most important, you know, position on the field, obviously. And we know what the Ravens went through with the Kyle Bowler situation. But I think even the more present, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers suffered, you know, with the drafting of Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
And not really being able to replace Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
And they're still scrambling. They put, you know, they got a senior citizen back there now at quarterback. You know, and they pumping him up, and he's not the answer.
No.
And if they keep him for next year, he will not be the answer next year either.
No.
I hope they do keep him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know, that'll delay them even more and getting back on the right path. And then they bring in McCarthy. You know, so but yeah, man, I think and by the way, the NFL coach, he is from Lebanese background.
Shallah.
Yeah, that
Robert Shallah.
Salah, yeah. So yeah, so he is the first Muslim head coach in the NFL.
And this is his second job.
And this is his second job, yeah. So he's a Muslim. He's of Lebanese descent. His parents are Lebanese, and although I think he was born here in America, but his parents are definitely Lebanese. So so he's probably when it comes to this season and the hiring, the only non-white hire as a head coach. And, and the Rooney Rule is there, you know, and it's still pretty sad in 2026 that you have to have a rule like that in place, to get people just to get interviews, which is, to me, I mean, there's nothing to that. I mean, a rule so that you just interview the dude and then that satisfies that satisfies everything. You interview the dude, and so I mean, so it's sad, but it also is a reflection of the NFL. When you talk about, you know, there's always that talk about the good old boy system, and the NFL is that.
Yes,
for sure. You know, for sure, it is a good old boy system. Because you're talking about billionaires.
The billionaire boys club.
Yeah. How many billionaire, you know, minorities are going to be owning a football team? You know, so it's a rare thing, despite the fact that the league itself, as far as players goes, is over 70% non-white. The players, you know, so it's sad. You know, you kind of hope for somebody to come through. You see Tomlin step away. You see the guy down in Atlanta get booted, and you know, and so you know, you could pull for maybe an Anthony Weaver or some of these other guys and maybe get a job. But I mean, kind of it is what it is, and you know, and when you think about, I think about the Bisciotti interview, and Bisciotti was a very honest guy, and he's one of the best owners in the league, and he's very open-minded, and but he said on there, he said, I they don't have no power. I got the power. I got the power. And when you own the team, you expect the owner to have the power.
Yes.
So, and that's the story. He said it. They don't have any power. I listen to them. They can recommend. I want to hear all of their suggestions and all that kind of stuff. But the power belongs with me.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what the story is in the NFL, which is historically a the good old boy system.
Yep.
So it's going to be a while before they kind of break through, with that. And so yeah, that's kind of the story. And they had Anthony Weaver come back for a second round interview, and he ultimately got chosen as the defensive coordinator with the Ravens.
Yeah.
So he did get that, and I mean, it's a tough situation, man. It's really a tough situation, and I hate to add the political flavoring, the political seasoning into the mix, but people don't really understand how that affects everything.
Yes.
So when you have a president with the mindset of the current president, everything is flavored by his mindset, is seasoned by his thought process. So one thing that we did know with the current president in his previous stint is that those folks with that racist mentality, which may have been buried, may have been controlled, it becomes a lot more active during the tenure of the current president, his previous tenure, and now it's all there.
Yes.
So I'm not that surprised that there weren't a lot of minorities really seriously considered for head coaching jobs.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, I saw a couple of coaches go, and Tomlin and the dude in Atlanta. Didn't he get fired? Raheem?
Yeah, Raheem Morris got fired. Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised. With a name like Raheem, he even got hired. But yeah, so he got let go, and Tomlin, although they say he stepped down, he got pushed out.
Yeah.
He got pushed out. So yeah, I mean it's something, man, and that thing is across the board, not only the NFL. The mindset now is one of a president with that mindset, and it has really seasoned the country on every level. And you see that rising up, and you see that thing that is in some of them that is really coming through their pores. So I think it had an impact on the hiring of the NFL. Some people may look at that as a reach, but I don't care. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, that's your thought, and you kind of took a little bit of where I was going with it. So I guess great minds think alike, I guess. But I definitely think the political climate that we are in currently plays a role. It plays a much bigger role in industries like this than we would be led to believe. The NFL, like I said, they understand marketing. They know that the product, they know that they're going to get viewership. They know that they're going to sell merchandise. So some of these things that are just given. They know that they're going to make a certain amount of money off a certain amount of things. You know what I'm saying? And the average fan is not really going to look too deep into who the coach is or why they're the coach. Why such and such got a job versus the next person. The average fan doesn't really care about that stuff. They just look at the team. They like the team. You got people that just like the jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just surface people. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really look at it at a deeper level. And sometimes, man, it's stuff. If you're not paying attention, it'll go over your head. You know what I'm saying? And I think the political climate that we're in, we're talking about billionaires that own these teams. Who are these people rubbing elbows with?
Right.
Other billionaires. Like you said, it's a club. It's a billionaire boys club, man. And very exclusive as to who they even let in there. You know, and the vetting. I mean, I like this just to know what the vetting process is. If a team was to go for sale, you know how they vet these owners who come in to these leagues, man. You know, because they putting up an awful lot of money to pay for these teams. Number one, and then you buying into this actually this club. You buying into a club. You know, you buying into a exclusive club, man, with only 32 other people, or 31 other people, 32 teams total, but only
Right.
31 other people are in the club. You know, and they, like I said, they're all billionaires, and their job really is to make money and to help each other make money. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you have these organizations. You know what I'm saying? I just remember I used to do deliveries to the Ravens and the Orioles. So, you know, I've been in the warehouse down at Camden Yards in the middle of the day when nothing's going on. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you see all of the moving parts. And you know, we see all we see really is the field, what we see on the field. But, you know, to get an opportunity to see what's happening in that warehouse on a day-to-day basis, man, you got the people that's selling the merchandise, and you got people that's in charge of marketing, and you got people that's in charge of this and people that's in charge of that. All the things that make the team, people, the community service, the community outreach. Like, so you can actually call the Ravens or the Orioles and request to have a player come to, you know, the Turner Station opening day baseball parade.
Yeah.
You know, and they you know, they send a player. You know what I'm saying? You might not get Lamar Jackson, but you might get a player. And the player will come with Ravens. He might come with his jersey on and might have some merchandise to hand out, which is all part of the marketing. You know what I'm saying? And that visual. So when you talk about ownership, right? And you talk about these guys are billionaires. And it's all about who do I want to run my franchise. You know. So if you were a billionaire, you run $1 billion company, you gonna put somebody in charge that you trust. First of all. So, you know, whoever's the big decision maker. So we just say with the Ravens is Eric DeCosta. He's the football decision maker. Because they got a president of the team that oversees a lot of the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily what's going on the field. But you're gonna put people in those positions that you trust. And, you know, a lot of times the people we trust look like us. You know, and then it's about relationships as well. You know, who do you know? You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it's not about who had the greatest interview. Who is he? And oh, that's such and such. He's with such and such. You know, so it's all about relationships. And a lot of times, man, you know, you gotta almost lose yourself from a perspective of a Raheem. You know, and we're just going to use the Raheem because I like what you said. But you know, Raheem might have to get in some of them rooms, man, and act like Robert. You know what I'm saying? He can't go in there and be Raheem. He can't go in some of them rooms and be how he would be if he was sitting on the sports mix talking sports with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain level of comfortability. And I think sometimes they get lost because we always want to hold up the merit. You know, people get positions on their merit, and he just wasn't good enough, and this, that, and the other. That's not always the case. Sometimes these people get jobs because they are comfortable. You know, Mike McCarthy, who has a Super Bowl with Green Bay, but was he somebody that you would have thought would have got the Pittsburgh Steelers job?
No way.
No.
No way.
And I think he's from the PA area, if I'm not mistaken. and he talked about that being a dream. Well, they all say it's a dream job every time they
Oh,
get one.
sure.
So, you know, you got to sell that.
Yeah.
But I just truly believe sometimes, and I think too, man. Sometimes it's the season, and we are in the season of, we taking our country back. We taking we going back. You know what I'm saying? And you look at uh the rise, man. Sometimes, man, you got people that feel like they gotta put people in their place, and we got the power to put you in your place, and we're gonna exercise that power, you know. So that's why you got people that are sitting in prison right now for stuff they didn't do, and people that put them there know they didn't do it, but they put them there because they knew they could put them there, and was nobody gonna say or do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same way with these jobs. We can hire who we want, and there's nothing you can say or do about it. And you can say that I'm discriminating all you want. All I'm gonna do is deny it. And it's just gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just throw out you know, I like this guy better. And that's basically what it boils down to is who you like better, you know. And again, like you say, with the climate that we are in, there's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that, man. There's just a lot of people being put in positions that they probably aren't qualified to be in, but because they look the part. You know what I'm saying? There's a big thing for years about this African American quarterbacks. You know, quarterback is a football player. If before if we didn't know that, but you would have thought that these guys weren't even football players the way they were denying them opportunities. Like, nah, he can't play quarterback in the NFL. No. So I think the political climate has a lot to do with everything. Whether people want to admit it or not, and they probably wouldn't. People probably would run the other way because that's not a discussion a lot of people like to have.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
very true.
But we touched on it, and we open for it if people want to debate it or talk about it.
You know what they say: don't talk politics and don't talk religion. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Right.
That's what they say. Yeah. Well.
And then and then even with all of that being said, we're not discounting any of the progress that has been made.
No,
we're not discounting that.
Absolutely.
We're not discounting the rise in the black quarterback. We're not discounting the Ozzie Newsomes and the folks in the world who has risen up and become GMs and different things like that in the NFL. We see that and we appreciate it. But when it comes to when you do have a season where there are 10 openings, which is the most I think in NFL history, tied to a couple of other seasons maybe open. The hope is that you could get one of these young guys coming up, Anthony Weaver and some of these other guys to be able to grab one of those positions. It didn't happen, or it hasn't happened. We live with that and we take it in stride. But just know that we're still looking, for more head coaches to lead these teams when you have 70%, over 70% of the players being non-white.
Right.
And just to know that, Donald Trump does have his eye on the sport. The day that John Harbaugh is fired, he's tweeting, that John Harbaugh is a great coach and he was really endorsing him to be hired. And that comes on the heels of the Harbaughs. I believe they visited the White House back in 2025, and both Jim and John and their families went. And this is, and Trump has never been kind on making comments about Baltimore.
Never.
You know, this is coming on the heels of some very derogatory comments about Baltimore, and then Coach Harbaugh goes to the White House, him and his brother and their family. So there is a percentage of people who were saying, "Yeah, get his ass out of here." And some
Right.
Baltimore folks that said, "Get his ass out of here," who were not Trump folks. So and there's a lot of people who celebrated, and it really turned the juice up on the fire Harbaugh thing.
Yeah. Yep.
But like you say, Trump is about his motto is make America great again. And that thing does it does soak into the fabric and the mindset of the country, his mentality.
Yeah, and it's stitched in, tight.
Yeah.
With a sewing machine.
Yeah.
It's stitched in real tight.
Yeah.
And it's just some of the things, man, that I think about sometimes. When I look at things, and like I said, me and you have had some conversation. So I know you don't look at just the surface. You kind of look a little deeper than what's going on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of do the same thing just because. All right, I know if it's on the surface, that's what they want us to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's out there on the surface, I know, all right, this is what they want us to see. What's really happening? What's really going on? And so I just and I don't want to go too deep down this political road because it'd be a road we might not get off of. But when you think about the things that's put out, right? So I just think a couple years ago when and we gonna pick on Trump today. When he started this whole stuff about fake news, right? And he's a guy that always got a slogan for something or a little catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? And he tends to be good at that. That he comes up with these little things and they stick. Sleepy Joe, and what about the emails? The Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, the birth certificate. He has a way of presenting these things, and they become etched in the minds of people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts, Big Rob. He's an entertainer, so he understands how to capture the minds of people. If he doesn't know how to do anything else, you know what I'm saying? He understands how to market and how to grab the attention of people, right? So like with this whole thing with fake news, it's like, yo, all you gotta do is throw a little bit of mud in the pool. Just dirty that thing up a little bit. And again, it's gonna take legs. You know what I'm saying? So now, where once upon a time, you had the Walter Cronkites of the world, the people that we watched, the Jerry Turners, the Al Sanders, we trusted these people. We didn't look at the news and say, oh, that's some liberal BS or that's some right wing conspiracy. We watched the news and we believed, at least on the surface, what they were telling us had some validity.
Right.
And even still, we knew when we were being BS'd. We knew when they were throwing some BS at us. So what's happening with this fake news is you really calling into question everything. You know what I'm saying? Now you question everything, which is, it's a good thing because you should question everything. You shouldn't just take everything for faith at face value. But what it's done is giving license and is giving platform to people that know they spitting out false information. You know what I'm saying? And they're not being checked on it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so much misinformation and disinformation being put out on a daily basis. The people are just confused. You know what I'm saying? And the people, you only gonna go to the sources that talk and speak the language that you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So now there is nobody that's looking for something that's balanced. They just want to hear what speaks to them. You know what I'm saying? So if you fall in line with the Make America Great Again crowd, you're going to follow the things that talk about those things. You know, and you only going to listen to those things and take those things as the gospel. You know, and if you on the other side of the aisle, you only going to go and listen to and watch the things that speak to your heart. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a dangerous game that we play, because you see how divided we are, and people become so passionate about their stances. And we see how passionate people get about sports. You know what I'm saying? When Ravens and Steelers play, you know what I'm saying? There are people that take it literal. You know, I really hate you. You know, and if this game don't go the right way, you better not say nothing to me, or it could be some problems. And we see this. You know, there's always video somewhere at a stadium where somebody from the opposite team, somebody got the wrong jersey on, and they're in there fighting.
Oh yeah.
You know? So I just think, man, you know, politically, and that stuff, like you say, people, it boils over into everything. It boils over into everything. So it boils into the sports, you know, in ways that the average sports fan probably wouldn't look at it that way, but it plays a role. You know what I'm saying? It plays a role, man. And this is the cycle that we're in right now. You know, as far as the world, the country, this is where we are right now. You know, and one thing for certain, two things for sure, is everything is not forever. You know, we will rise above this time, this turmoil that we're in. You know what I'm saying? And you know, better days are ahead.
Oh yeah.
Better days are ahead. But sometimes, remember, you know, I know you know this one. You and Killer Rob. I'm gonna hit something in y'all wheelhouse. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn. And sometimes you gotta let it burn.
Burn, motherfucker, burn. That's how it went.
That's how it went. And sometimes you gotta let it burn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to put out a fire sometimes, is to let that thing burn. Let it burn itself out.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that's where we are right now. You know, it's going to get to a peak, it's going to get to a point, and it's going to burn itself out, because it's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? It's not sustainable. This is not the 1800s, the 1700s. This is not that time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even going into the, you know, we people be saying, well, we are not our ancestors, all that stuff. It's not even about that. These are different times. You know what I'm saying? And people are different. And I believe in my heart of hearts that the people who believe in these extreme views on either side are very minute in number. They're not a majority of people. They are a very small number of people who have power and influence. And right now they're winning. But again, the game is going to flip over. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Because and look at the games. A lot of times, people are not watching the games that's being played, right? And again, we didn't have a political show. You know what I'm saying? We didn't cross into politics tonight. But if people watch what's happening, these billionaires are lining their pockets up. I'm talking about they're making billions and billions more dollars than what they already had. And it's only been a year. We only 12 months, a little over 12 months into this 4 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they are making money hand over fist. They are. And the little man is suffering. You know, people out here working 2 and 3 jobs, man, just to break even.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is crazy. But I don't want to go down this road. Cause shit, I'll be up all night.
Yeah, I mean, enough is said, and these are the times, like you said, it's happening now, and these are the times, and it is what it is right now, but you just never stop the fight, you never stop the growth, you never stop trying to rise. And there's a lot of work to do, within within our community, where we short on a lot of things, and I think it's probably it starts there. But again, the confusion, the unity is not there. The trust amongst one another is not there, and things like money and things like that is boss. So anytime that's boss, when somebody hands something out to you, you'll do all kinds of things. I think I'm not sure if in the song by the OJ's Money Money Money, they talk about people in there, how do they say, stealing from their own mother.
Yeah.
And the song, so so money will have people doing some things, man.
Yeah.
So
money will definitely bring out the worst.
And again, we don't want to go too deep, because if we go there, it's going to be some upset folks, and it's going to take some time. So we don't want to go too deep.
Yeah, but just know that we can go there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just know that we can go there.
That's right. Maybe on a different platform.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to invite one of us to that platform to talk, send us an email.
That's right. That's right.
We might surprise you with some of the information we can bring you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I had in in the NBA made some trades.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna dig too deep into that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up in a minute, but the NBA made a few trades. I see that James Harden got shipped off to Cleveland. This evening, I did see that. I'm not a big Harden fan. I mean, he's one of the greatest scorers. Put some numbers up, man. But crunch time, he doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Playoff James is not good. Also, Paul. Damn, what's Paul's last name?
Oh, that got messed up on the some drugs or something. Paul George.
Paul George. Damn, he got suspended for 25 games.
Right.
Say, how about Wu-Tang? Wu-Tang is for the kids. JD 10141. Wu-Tang love the kids.
Say, what about Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
That's the comment.
Yeah, he said, what about the Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
They love the kids.
They had their time.
Yeah, I was a fan.
They were strong.
Yeah.
Right.
We all around the same age, so they was right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, they were strong now.
They were speaking my language.
Yeah.
The Wu-Tang. But yeah, man. So the NBA trade deadline coming. All-Star Week will be in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All-Star Weekend, excuse me. Super Bowl was this week. The Pro Bowl was this past weekend. Did you watch any of that?
I just saw that Pickens was an MVP.
Okay,
I guess they play flag football or something.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I was at the Maryland game, and then
I haven't watched a Pro Bowl in 3 decades.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on over there with that Pro Bowl. And
nothing.
I do know that I was pretty shocked that Belichick didn't get the Hall of Fame vote.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Also, Robert Kraft.
Yeah,
I don't know the story behind that, but
that's ridiculous, man.
yeah, that's such a ridiculous
just
thing,
ridiculous.
man. I don't understand. And we were just talking about, that Robert Kraft was one of the best owners in the NFL, and how the New England Patriots, who were going back to the Super Bowl, we know, had turned around in such a quick period of time, a couple of 4-13 seasons, and now they back there. And Belichick, man, how can you disregard Bill Belichick and not be a first ballot Hall of Famer along with Kraft? I just don't understand that. I don't understand it. It has to be something behind it that maybe we don't know, but it's shocking.
It's because Kraft was the owner when Parcells was the coach there, right? He had just took over, and Parcells was the coach. So he went to a Super Bowl. Then they went to what, 10 Super Bowls?
They went to a lot.
9 or 10 of them with the Brady during the Brady time,
right?
And then going to another one. So yeah, he clearly top of the food chain, and he him and Justin Tucker and old quarterback up there in Cleveland, they probably all would hang out together.
Yeah,
they all had like the massages and all of that.
Yeah.
What you say, the freak offs?
Yeah, the freak offs are hot now.
The Diddy party,
Yeah. They hiked up the prices on baby oil and all that crap, man. I mean, come on, man. Hey. Oh, have mercy.
Oh man, I'm crying. But yeah, the same thing with like with the Baseball Hall of Fame stuff, when they say nobody should get 100% of the vote. I mean, if you're a Hall of Fame or you're not,
right?
You know what I'm saying? All this. Well, I didn't want to vote for him because I didn't want to get him 100. Come on, cut the crap. Cut the crap.
That's foolishness.
Well, I didn't vote for him, because he didn't need 100. Stop it. And the vote. I know in a lot of sports, the media members are picked to vote. I know with the NFL, I don't know if he still is. I remember Scott Garceau, who was on Channel 2 News for years. He had a Hall of Fame vote, and he would talk about their process. That they had the first round of votes, I guess, to see who's going to be in the finals, and then they do the final during the Super Bowl week. All the voters they go to the Super Bowl city, and they meet like in a room at a hotel or something. Like, I mean, it's real like really a big deal.
Yeah.
And they lock themselves in a room, and if a guy from your, like, say Scott Garceau, he covered the Ravens, and he may have covered the Baltimore Colts. So if somebody from those teams was up for Hall of Fame, he would be the person to state their case. You know what I'm saying? And so he talked about, I remember him when he was on the radio, he talked a lot about Art Modell coming up. And there was a reporter from Cleveland who was vehemently against Art Modell going into the Hall of Fame. And they was, they kind of, I think it was Tony Grossi, the writer up there in Cleveland. And I remember his name because his name came up every single year. In Baltimore, Baltimore fans took offense that Modell wasn't getting in. And I found that to be strange. Because Baltimore fans really only like Modell because he brought the Ravens in.
Right.
Because his Hall of Fame resume was built in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he built his resume in Cleveland. You know, Art Modell is the reason we have Monday Night Football. They say he's the main reason we have Monday Night Football today. You know, so not only was he a contributor to you know football culture, you know, he was a you know he helped with the money aspect of it too. You know, bringing money to the league and you know how like you say it's the club, the Billionaire Boys Club. Those guys share that revenue in NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So you know they make a lot of money, and Art Modell was instrumental in that early on. You know when he came on to Cleveland, and he took ownership of the Browns. I guess in the '60s,
I
late
believe so.
'60s, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they say he's very instrumental in you know a lot of the things that's prevalent in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so his contributions, you know, were undeniable. But the reason he wasn't in the Hall of Fame prior was because he moved the team to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he may get in posthumously. You know, he may get in. He should be in just based off of his resume. You know what he's done for the league. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But again, man, you got people that hold these grudges, and it's just like I'm ready to go because I feel myself ready to be on here another hour. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
talking. But you know when you talking about human beings, right? We the judge and jury. Sometimes, man, you know, I cringe like when you look at the law enforcement, or you look at like the judicial system, the tongue twister, right? And your life is sitting in somebody's hands. You know, they keep saying they go by the law. They may use the law as the guidelines, but ultimately it's going to be somebody's personal decision, which could decide whether or not you go one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? And that's a dangerous place for me. You know what I mean? Because I just don't believe that people should have that kind of power. And you know, I'm in a position as a coach. You know, and I had to cut a player last week. You know, I don't like doing that. But this is the middle of the season. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I had to let him go. You know, and the saying is, if the issue is that if the headache is bigger than the production, the headache got to go. But if you give me a headache and you producing, it's gonna be tough for me to make that decision. You know, and obviously he wasn't producing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, listen, you done had 4 strikes. You know, we gave you an extra strike, and you blew that, so
Mm-hmm.
you got to go. You know what I'm saying? And it's a tough position to be in, but somebody got to do it. You know, and that's gonna be that. So as we wrap it up for another week, you know, and this between now and next week, I got to figure out what's going on with Facebook because we miss my Facebook people the last couple of weeks. You know, I know they miss us because I shortly advertised that we was gonna be on at 9 o'clock, and they probably think, "Man, what are you doing, man?" You know. So, Facebook people, we coming. Y'all should be watching on YouTube anyway. Y'all should be looking for me. If you can't find me on one platform, look at another one. We everywhere.
Options.
Yeah. Any parting words as the NFL season will be over when we come back?
Yeah. I just say that you know, enjoy that Super Bowl. it should be hyped. The Super Bowl is always hyped. Also want to throw out there that be careful, be aware, because historically, Super Bowl day, Super Bowl night is the highest night day for domestic violence.
Is that right?
So be careful out there. When you mix alcohol with betting, a lot of times, what the result when you're not winning your bet.
Yeah.
You know what the result can be.
Yeah.
And, that thing of domestic violence is something that's still an issue in this country. So on that day, it's at its highest rate. So please be careful. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the food. Enjoy them 5 billion chickens that's being killed every day, or whatever that number was I mentioned earlier. But enjoy the Super Bowl and think about things. And we coming back again next week.
And we'll recap the game, and hope, like I said, hope it's a tie. I hope it ends up in a tie, like 6-6, 3 safeties each,
right?
Type of thing. And I just want to see a good game.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to see a good game, and y'all, like I say, enjoy your food, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. If you're going out to a spot to watch the game, make sure you drive. Just be safe. Don't go overdo it with the drinking and
right.
And if your team if you lose the rent money or the mortgage money, just don't take it out on nobody else, man.
Yeah, don't take it out on nobody else.
Don't take it out on nobody else, man. Just do better. That's all I gotta say. Do better. So, we out of here. Super Bowl this weekend. Football season has come to a close. We will wrap the football season up next week. And, we talk about some other sports topics, and, we might be talking about politics. You never know where we're going at.
You never know.
You never know where we're going at.
You never know. MIX. That's on. That's in there for a reason. The MIX.
Yeah, man. We might have to, I know this is a topic you can hit on heavily. We might throw some Michael Jackson in there. Throw some MJ in the mix.
Hey.
Break down some of these songs, man.
Yes, Lord.
Mike, I'll be listening to a little Mike a couple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Mike is in heavy rotation in the car.
Absolutely.
And I pulled out a classic from the Triumph album.
Okay. Yeah.
And I shared it with a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she had never heard it.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, this was a tough one. But she said, man, this should have been a hit. And that was what was the song? Damn it. Let me look it up right quick. But she was like, the first time she heard it, I sent it to her.
Yeah.
And she said that should have been a hit. She's just talking about how Michael's voice was so, you know what I'm saying? He just sang the song so perfect. You know what I'm saying? And what is the song, man? You want to know it as soon as I say it.
Yeah, I can't think of the title of what I think you're talking about. I can't come up with the title. But
yeah, wait a minute. I'm almost there.
Obviously, I had all them albums, man.
Yeah. I got that one for Christmas.
And that
year, whatever year that was that it came out.
That cover, man, was tough with the brothers up on there.
Yeah.
And with that blue, and illuminating around the froze, and they all there. Man, that's an iconic album cover.
Yeah, but that thing, man, was so tough. And I agree with it. It should have been a hit. You know, to me it was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the
to me
album
it was a hit.
I was knee deep into the album.
Yeah.
Like I was every other album they put out.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I got that one for Christmas.
yeah.
Time waits for no one.
Time waits for no one. Yeah, Michael kills that.
Killed it, man.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was break down in that song too.
Yeah, that's him.
You know
how deep he get into it, man. Yeah, he be struggling with keeping them emotions out of him.
Oh man.
Yeah, he be.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about some of Michael's music and you know, because that one was a classic, man. For sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if they put that out as a single or not, but that was definitely a great song. I mean, his vocals on that thing was amazing. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
And it's true, man. It's a true thing, man. Time ain't waiting.
It's not.
Time is not waiting, and need to really value that time. It waits for no one.
Nobody.
Right.
If that album had to come out like 81, 82.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
Elementary or middle school when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was in elementary.
Elementary when it came out.
Because the Thriller came out, I was in 6th grade.
82 or 83.
82, yeah.
Yeah.
The Thriller came out in 82. I was in 6th grade. I never forget. and again, see how I started. I said we was getting out of here, and here we go.
Right.
I never forget the morning, the day after the Motown 25 joint. You know, when the whole world was just heads was gone when he did the movie. Everybody was screwed up, man.
Yes.
My math teacher at Dundalk Middle School, Miss Dennis, she was a little short lady. She was a young teacher back then. And we was in the room that had carpet. And I remember her trying to look like she was moonwalking. Because she was talking about that. The movie did. Did you see it? I mean, she was so excited, and she got the scooching back on that carpet, man. That was the funny to me.
Right.
I said, what is he doing?
Yeah.
You know, but Michael had the world in an uproar.
Yes, he did.
You know, I mean, that whole time. And I remember trying to explain to my kids, right, when he passed away, they were a little younger. And they didn't really understand why was everybody talking about him. He died, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, but this dude was different. You know what I'm saying? He just wasn't a regular entertainer. He just wasn't, if Chris Brown passed away, and I don't want to put nothing on Chris Brown, but if he passed away today, he would have a big crying outpour, but it'd be nothing compared to what Michael Jackson was.
No, nothing.
Nothing,
and nobody compares to Michael. I mean, you can look at anything, any sport, any politics, or whatever you want to look at. Nothing and no one compares to Michael Jackson. Period. And that's with folks after him.
Yeah.
Trying to extinguish his fire, trying to kill his light, trying to hold him back, trying to do all these things. No one compares to Michael. His music right now is worldly, is the music that's most in rotation. His music is being played more than anybody else's music in the world. And the man has been dead for what, 16 years or something? 17 years?
Yeah, unreal.
That's some unreal stuff,
man.
And so it's and it's so funny, man, that I mean the kids today, they know Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
They know Michael Jackson. People are out there just imitating him and all that kind of stuff, man. Today, everybody on Halloween, everybody out there doing the Thriller dance all over the world. all over the world. So it was just an amazing thing to be able to watch his full journey for me. Able to watch his full journey all the way through, and to see him in concert like 5 or 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, and and I think the universe understood that, because when it came time for me to get some tickets, it seemed like that universe made a way for me to get some tickets to see Michael, and for me to get tickets in the 5th row, in the 9th row, the 13th row. I mean, so things seem to have worked out for me when it looked crazy. I said, man, what? I'm in line, I'm going down in line to get some tickets, and I'm like 30th in line down at the arena, Civic Center, or whatever it was called at the time, and I'm like, man, and they selling tickets all over the world, and I'm 30th in line. As soon as they open the door, they start selling tickets, and right when I get to the door, and it might be 3 people in front of me, the guy come out there and say, there are no more. No, he said, the only tickets left are tickets that are behind the stage. They only have behind the stage tickets.
Wow. And
I'm there, man, like, I can't go see Michael, and I'm behind the goddamn stage, man. I'm in that line, man, and the person before me go up to the window, and then the next person. I'm sitting there, man, just crazy about this. And when I walked to that door, to that window to get that ticket, that woman looked at me and said, the first show is sold out. Do you want tickets for the second show? Do I want tickets for the second show? You right, I do. And those tickets were basically front row seats, but the first 5 rows they held them out for different things. So my ticket was in the front row, man, and I'm in the 5th row, and man, it just worked out. And I've seen him with his brothers. I missed the Jackson 5.
Right.
We did have tickets. My parents had gotten us tickets to go see the Jackson 5, and they wound up canceling the show and bring it back. So I missed the Jackson 5, but I've seen the Jacksons three times when that's before he did his solo thing, and then obviously I saw Off the Wall tour. I saw him down at the arena for Off the Wall, and then the Thriller. I saw him over at RFK. I had wrote 9 tickets. The bad tour was the row 5 tickets. And so I was able to see all of that, and was a little despondent. I was a little upset, not upset, but when Michael went on tour, I just liked it when his brothers were there.
Yeah.
So he did go on tour when he just had some people behind him dancing.
Right.
Weren't his brothers, and he didn't bring his brothers on tour with him. That threw me off a little bit. But Michael was there. But seeing dudes behind him, man, that shit just wasn't right. The feel wasn't there. It's like, man, where the hell is Jackie and Marlon back there hitting them steps with you, bro? These other dudes, man, and then I've been on tour where I did see that little clip you sent about somebody saying that Jermaine was a better singer than Michael. I couldn't even. I was trying to respond to it, man, but my fingers and shit just wasn't working on that one. I ain't know this motherfucker, But I've been on tour, with him, Michael, and the Jackson brothers, and Jermaine was able to kick his stuff. Let him do a couple songs on there. So man, I love that, and Michael and his brothers, and really the whole Jackson clan, man, has been a big part of my life. So
yeah, and that's like you say, man. You see, I scroll TikTok and Instagram, and you see little teeny kids, man, be so mind blown. Knowing every word, they singing Jackson 5 songs.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man. This dude got an effect on people that, they were just born 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Mike, you say Mike been gone, 17 years?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, to have an impact like that,
Yeah.
you know, and see that greatness, greatness, man. See, these people talking about LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
Right.
And okay. He got all the numbers, and I'll give you that.
Right.
But the impact. Michael Jordan played his last game in what year? 2001, 2002.
Something like that. 2000. He came back in 01. 2001. Played a couple seasons. So, yeah.
He's still selling sneakers.
Right.
I mean, impact.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
His highlight reel is still incredible to me.
Still incredible. Highlight reels don't usually last that long, man.
Nah.
They start looking old,
Yeah, man.
Not his.
No, not his, man.
No, not
his. I mean, Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
His run was short.
Yep.
But it was explosive.
It was explosive, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's still able to make money today.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is Mike Tyson, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gonna have to hit this.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about now.
Yeah, we got to hit this, man. I mean,
y'all need to stay tuned because it's some stuff coming.
Yeah, it's some stuff coming here, and
it's going to give us the opportunity to really kind of get off into some things because y'all know that the Ravens is like a priority during the season, and we go knee deep in with the Ravens, every week. But now that it's season is over, the Super Bowl is closing down, it's definitely going to give us an opportunity to dig into some things different than the Ravens, and we're going to go in depth. And so y'all better stay tuned.
Yeah, better lock in.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be crazy.
Don't want to miss it. And Big Kenny going to get Facebook straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't worry about that. But there are options.
Yeah. And I'm going to get TikTok too.
Yeah.
I'm going to have us everywhere.
Yeah, that's where we should be.
I'm gonna have us everywhere, and yeah, that's gonna bring in people in here.
Yeah, because we got some universal stuff for y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, I'm not long for the sack.
Yeah,
I've been up almost 24 hours.
Yeah, man, you better dive right in. Dive right in.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna sign it on off. We'll be back next week. Talk about the game. Probably some other trades in the NBA. College basketball, all that. We ready to dive in. Might be talking about some Michael Jackson, Steve Wonder. Steve Wonder, no one. I better not start on him.
Yeah, you better leave that alone.
Yeah.
We done had some Stevie conversations now.
Yeah.
And a Stevie conversation, you can't have a Stevie conversation within a half hour.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And I done found some diamonds on that YouTube, man. I done found a couple Stevie joints. I'm like, man, live stuff.
Yeah.
I said, oh man, this boy bad, but
Stevie, tough dude, man.
Yeah. But yeah, we out, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. If you on YouTube, make sure y'all subscribing over there. If you're watching on Instagram, appreciate you. Thanks for the follow. Facebook, we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right, Facebook. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna figure it out. But until next week, we out.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.
To the